Hello Gemini, this is a timeless reading for you. I'm using my own cards, my medieval oracle deck. In the middle of your spread we have the Queen, and I feel like she's coming up in a good way in your reading. She can come up in a negative sense, but I don't have this feeling today. So far all the readings were very positive. This Queen could represent your own energy, even if you're a man. For some of you, I feel it is not you. It is someone who is in some kind of authoritative position, or at least has some kind of power in a certain sense. This is someone who has some kind of influence, someone who can get something through, get something done, approve of something to your advance. I feel like this person is intelligent. She is not emotionless or cold, but she is clear and objective without having choked off her heart. And she might look at you in an objective way and also... No, I want to skip this one. Just let me go into the cards that are surrounding her here with the book and the mirror. First, let's start with the book. I feel like on one hand, she is reading either some information about you or some information that you gave her. She's looking at that very objectively. I feel like it could be a lot of information. Also, for others, I feel like she is reading you like a book, seeing through you a little bit. But, you know, often when we hear that or feel like someone is doing that, analyzing us, it's not, I mean, it's like, you know, someone is crossing a boundary. It's not a good feeling if someone is just overanalyzing us and reading us like a book. But it's nothing bad in this situation, I feel. And as I said, of course, this Queen could also just you doing that. You reading through some information that someone gave you, or reading someone like a book. With the Mirror card, there's something about a self-realization. It could be that either you are, how do you say that in English, putting up a mirror to someone, but don't worry, this person is not nasty and they are not mirroring something terrible back to you. It could just be the case, if this person is reading you like a book somehow, and you maybe had very strong self-doubts or something, I feel like this person will try to mirror something to you, hold this mirror into your face and trying to make you see something good about yourself. If you are the Queen, you might be the one in the situation trying to show someone how you see them in a very good way, but maybe this person cannot see themselves in a very good way. I also feel, when I look at these three cards here together, that the mirror could be replaced with a magnifier. I don't have a magnifier here in my deck, so I think, I don't know when magnifiers were invented. I think it was much past that time when I would relate this tarot deck to. I will Google that later. So somehow it makes me think like If you see the mirror, not the mirror here, instead of the mirror, you think of the card as a magnifier, that this person or you yourself, you are reading like everything word by word, very thoroughly, very sincerely. And then this person, whoever that is, that sees the information, whether the information are in form of words or just a person talking, or it's just how someone is moving, how someone is behaving, then the queen might try to mirror back to the person who is full of this information or who has shared this information how sincere they actually are. It's hard to express. We have the goblin here in the position of what you need to realize, or what will resolve the situation somehow, what you need to learn. And the goblin in my deck is some kind of replacement for the devil, or what the devil represents in other decks. So for some of you, this is a literal spiritual negative influence in your life in form of a person or just an energy that is surrounding you, influencing you in a very bad way. For others of you, the devil is just a metaphor. Something about worrying too much, something about not believing in yourself, something about shame. That's also something that is subtly in your reading. There could be someone who is carrying a lot of guilt and shame towards something towards a quality that they don't even have. And I feel like this queen, whether this is you or someone who's looking at you, this queen is trying to show the other person like there is nothing to be ashamed of. This is in your mind. This is fear and shame. This is the goblin or the devil. On top of your spread, we have the snake. The snake can stand for language. The snake can stand for cunningness, falseness, sneakiness. For someone who is silently crawling around, poisoning people, like without a warning, out of nowhere. But the snake can be very positive, as I said. It can. I often see it like having the knowledge about, or the knowledge of evil, which not everyone has. Having secret knowledge about profound spiritual truths, where others, they read scriptures or whatever, and by reading they think they know, but they don't even know the difference between deep experiences and intellectual information grabbing. So the snake can be a spiritual card if it comes up in a good way. The snake can be... If the snake is bringing knowledge, secret knowledge, it is very subtle. And it's very exclusive and very discreet. If the snake chooses you to transmit this secret knowledge to you, nothing will pour out on the sides. Nothing will be spilled. No one will be able to overhear it. It will be safe, and it will be safely only transmitted to you. Yeah, discretion is a very big word here. The snake also gives me a very cheerful and happy vibe when I look at its facial expression. I feel drawn to look at the number 22. Maybe that means something to someone. I'm not so much obsessed with numbers. Sometimes, just now and then, they just jump into my eyes and I give some rise to them, but not too often. But right now, I just felt drawn to look at this number 22. At the bottom of the deck, we have the rose. In the previous reading, I didn't feel drawn to the bottom of the deck. But right now in your spread, I do. Like the rose, of course, it can always represent romance, which in your spread, I don't know if it does too strongly. I think in your situation, there's something about aesthetics, beauty, fragrance, just the pleasing things in life, the pleasures. Below that, we have the Death card. I'm not sure what I feel very drawn to several cards here. Oh my God. You know, I especially to go very deeply into the other cards that are not actually in the spread anymore. I don't always do that, but in your case, somehow I feel like pulling several more cards. There is something that is utterly leaving your life. The rose card also stands for some kind of gift. It could be that this queen is making you some kind of gift, not a personal gift, and not necessarily something that she is. It more feels like some kind of official thing or a favor. Or, you know, if she's in some kind of official position, reading through something, that she might decide something for you that will benefit you. And that feels like some kind of gift. With the Death card, like there's just something that is really dried out after going through this situation. Like this death, there's this total death of probably whatever this information was about. Maybe this was something that has been bothering you or burdening you for a long time. It could also mean that this death speaks of this goblin, this mean inner voice that is trying to hold you imprisoned in this state of fear or worrying. The Death card could also just be you like not having skin anymore. Not literally, don't worry. I mean, oh my God, we wouldn't even survive. Metaphorically, you know, we have this saying like something can get under our skin, hurt us deeply. I mean, also in a positive way, things can get deeply below our skin, but usually when we use this expression, I think we mean it in a more negative way. And this card just tells me there's something about, you know, just being untouchable. No one can hurt you. I mean, you can, if this is a skeleton, you can't get under their skin, and you cannot even hate their guts because they don't have guts. It's a skeleton. So there's something about this, you know, being entirely unattainable. We have the river here. As I said, I feel drawn to pull so many cards right now. I don't know why. This is the first reading for this week where I feel drawn to this, constantly pulling cards. The river has several meanings in my deck, but I'm only gonna jump into the one that is relevant for you, which is travel or moving. There's something that comes through very strongly here. I can feel that. Some of you, after this situation, you might even want to just, you know, leave your country, go far away, Because the river is not only moving, it also is like crossing waters, literally. Could even be changing countries, could just be for a vacation to get away from something, but for many I feel like there is some kind of urge to leave a situation and go somewhere as far as possible, which is just being confirmed by the thief. And I don't feel like this is a literal thief or something that I should warn you about. I feel like the thief is you. But you're not stealing anything from someone. You're just taking your own stuff, something that is owed to you. Could even be that this queen makes it possible, or that you are the queen making this possible for someone. Taking everything that belongs to you, putting it on your back and leaving, going somewhere. We have the white dragoness, which is a very spiritual card, which is some kind of god actually in my deck. This is some of the highest beings in this deck. It actually, in my specific deck, it is the highest being. It's some kind of ultimate wisdom. It's the source of all energy. And I feel like this is either something that you might feel like this is some higher power guiding you, towards this new direction, pushing, pulling you. Or you might not even be aware of it, but there's something deeper behind it. It could also be that you have some kind of awakening, longing to connect to some high being. We have the king here. This could be you. I don't think of the king right now as a very authoritative energy, even though it usually represents that. But here I feel like there is a focus on, if it's a good king, then his qualities are responsibility. Of course, he has to have sharp boundaries and he has to have authority, but if he's a good king, he also has to have some love in his heart for his subjects. He has to have these fatherly qualities, and I think that's where the focus is on. Like there are some, even if you're a woman, you can discover your own fatherly qualities within you, or you might meet someone who has those qualities. And I feel like it could even be that you're, whatever gender you feel you are, or that you truly are, you might tap into some kind of masculine, soft masculine. I think we have different kinds of masculine and feminine energies within us. And this is some kind of very soft, fatherly, masculine energy that you're tapping into. And while you are in this state, experiencing yourself being in this energy, you might be very vulnerable and open towards this white dragoness energy, towards this higher power. Maybe even longing for this higher power. I'm so sorry, I usually really don't pull all these cards from the bottom of the deck, but it's just something I feel so drawn to right now. We have the frog here, which is in my deck. It has several meanings, but to keep it short, I only will go into the one that is relevant for you here as well. So it's about transformation. There is something. It also makes me think of the frog as a very spontaneous jumper. There's something about quick reactions. Also how frogs catch flies with their tongue. It's very quick. Also they're jumping. They can't just sit there. Look, they just appear to be frozen, not moving at all, and out of nowhere, boom, they start to jump. Like there's something about this explosiveness, not an uncontrolled, it's a very controlled, explosive movement here regarding some kind of change. So I think there's a change that's coming in very quickly. We have the dungeon, and it could be that maybe you will, if we take it literally, which probably doesn't apply to most people now, the situation, if this queen is some kind of official person, it could be that you might receive some information, good news, after this queen has read through the information, that someone will go to prison who did something to you. So, as I said, this is not for most people. And for others, the dungeon can just be a symbol of stagnation. It can also just be a kind of cellar, because we were talking about moving. Maybe you are, cleaning out some cellar, throwing away some stuff, and then, entirely moving, never going back to this old location. It can also be a metaphorical cellar, that you are cleaning something out of your subconscious. And I'm going into it even deeper. You are really the only sign where I'm doing this. We have the lute, which I, of course, obviously can represent music, celebration, just entertainment, art, dancing. You might want to celebrate after, having been through this. We have the coins here. So there might some financial ease coming towards you. And the laurels, success. This looks very good. We have the sword here. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I have to explain this oracle deck of mine. It has only 33 cards and I have pulled so many. Actually, I could just use the whole deck now. I have to stop soon. Also, your reading is much longer than all the other signs readings. I didn't plan it. It's just the way it is right now. Most of the other readings, they were between 8 and 12 minutes. And yours is already 22 and a half. We have the sword here, the Excalibur sword. There's something about your destiny. Something here is destined, but I feel like you're not yet really aware of it. And I'm going to leave it here, even though I feel like this reading is much more complex than I can put into any words. Or maybe I could put it into words, but then probably this reading would be like 2 hours long or 3. It feels, I don't know why your reading is so different from the other readings. It feels very complex and deep, but nothing to worry about. There are just a lot of layers of energies, but you might have a glimpse into all of them at once, so it won't be too complicated to see through. I don't feel you as being very overburdened here. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it. Thank you for watching.